The Pharaoh is about to eliminate Taima, the Master Super Saiyan, when they are interrupted by an unknown figure.
Prepare yourself, Dan Saiyan.
It's been a little while since we dove right into Dragon Ball Infinity. There has been a little bit of a time lapse between chapters, but today I have the newest chapter for you guys, and I will also have the playlist if you would like to see this story from the very beginning. A lot of you guys have seen it from other channels up to this point, Mondo Cool, Unreal and Gaming, other channels such as those, but today we have the brand new chapter, and I have something special for you guys too, because we also have the next chapter that I will be reviewing tomorrow. So you get 2 chapters in the span of 2 days. You don't have to wait very long for that. So make sure you're here tomorrow at the same exact time, around 6 p.m. Eastern US time, to check out that chapter. Let's jump right in. Taima is on his last leg, and the Pharaoh has exhausted everything to destroy him. All his allies are now gone or defeated. He has not lifted a finger to fight Taima, but it is time for him to put an end to this rebellious Saiyan. But just then, they get interrupted, and a mysterious figure rushes them from across the sand. This being is recognized as the god of this world, the creator of the Heki, and the Pharaoh looks none too pleased to have this intruder intruding. The Ancient One condemns the Pharaoh, saying he has gone too far, and the Pharaoh knows exactly who he is, which the Pharaoh has no knowledge, and everyone is aghast at exactly who this figure is and why did he stop this fight. The Ancient One's name is Garura, but just for the sake of this video, I'm going to call him the Ancient One, and he landed on this planet a long time ago. He isn't originally from this, but he was drawn to it because this planet had so much unique energy surrounding it. And he tells them all that they would do well to listen to his tale before anybody gets itchy fingers and wants to interrupt. He describes the first of his children as shapeshifters, and he created all of them, and it looks like these are gods of destruction, because you definitely see the robot god there in the back, and you see a few of them that look very similar, but some look a little bit different than what we've known. But the biggest thing to take away from this is that this is definitely Moro. It does not look like the bird we see before us, so could this bird be Moro but a shapeshifter? And why would he shift back and forth between forms? It's all very curious. He told all his children that whichever one of them are leaders and wants to create a utopia, they would come with him on his ship. That way they can protect each universe and the knowledge of the gods. They would be entrusted with so much. These are definitely the gods of destruction, or at least deities from Dragon Ball Super. You can even see some of their outlines here on the bottom. One of them even looks like Frieza. So these beings, these alien, these ancient races, these are all coming from this divine being, the Ancient One. One day, one of the Ancient One's sons killed his favorite child. And so the Ancient One, in all his wisdom, decided that it was not a justified killing, and his favorite son was granted domain over the afterlife, which upset the murderer. So the murderer decided, I'm going to kill my father, the Ancient One, by blocking out the sun, and that is the source of his power. But it was a plan that failed, because the moon's reflection of the sun was enough to power the Ancient One. So the murderer decided a different path. He would merge with the Pharaoh, who was one of the sons, to create a whole new being, and that being is what the Pharaoh looks like today. And together, their merged fusion was unstoppable, and so the Ancient One had to do some fusion of his own, and that was the only way that he defeated this monster, sealing it forever. So this makes sense as to why the Ancient One looks like this. So essentially what it's saying is that it is possible that the Ancient One and Moro are the same exact being, which is interesting that they put Moro in here, Dragon Ball Infinity's team, but I like the addition. So the merged fusion of his sons, the one that took everything from the Ancient One to seal, This was the original god of destruction, or that's what he was called. This was essentially a monster that would not only destroy souls, but he would eat them as well. But eventually, this is what leads us to the present day right now, to the matter at hand. This deity, the Pharaoh, he is by far the worst of the worst, and I think this is why the Ancient One is here, to take him down. This Ancient One is the beginning. He is the father of everything that has been going down on the planet, the races that are divided, the different type of deities, the Pharaoh, everything is because of him. He is the one that started it all. And so this story would have never happened without this character, which is cool to think about, that he would come back, or he would still be alive all this time. I'm wondering exactly why he's here in the first place. But the Pharaoh will hear no more of this. He does not trust this stranger, and the fact that the stranger just looks like his enemy, like a bird, that's probably pushing him to not even listen to anything he's got to say, and he charges him right on sight. But the Pharaoh stops in his tracks and gets the hell out of Dodge. He realizes that he cannot defeat the Ancient One and goes off with his tail between his legs, and that was extremely anticlimactic. We probably should have brought this guy on very early on to destroy the Pharaoh. I don't know where he's been hiding, but we probably needed him on this planet. Now that the Pharaoh is on the run, they believe it is time to strike, but the Ancient One wants nothing to do with it. He needs to return back to the sky because he relies on not only the solar energy anymore, but the very planet to live on. So out from down underneath the dunes, a ginormous ark pulls its way through the sand, and this looks like it's his ship, and he says he will return when needed. But he essentially is like Whis, but he can actually do something because he's much stronger than the Pharaoh, so I'm not exactly sure where this manga is going now. Surely now the Pharaoh is going to retaliate against the citizens, seeing as how he basically lost. So Taima's master decides that it is time to go and rescue the innocents before they are caught between the clash. And that is when they leave, and Taima completely collapses because now he has gone far beyond his limit. Taima's power is restored, but there is no time for talk. He has to go back to the fountain and destroy it. It doesn't matter if this was granting the deities immortality. He needs to go back there because the Pharaoh will have devious plans for this structure. Taima must go into the fountain, reach all the way down, and remove the power source that is draining the energy from this planet. He has to go down there, and it is believed that he will survive the swim, because if he does not do that, the power will destroy everything. It is very, very potent. And even though the trip down the fountain is hazardous and it could kill anybody, we believe that Taima is the right candidate to dive in there because the water not only gives you immortality, but it heightens your abilities. So Taima swimming in this with his Saiyan abilities, they will be max heightened, and so he may actually be able to transform further beyond anything that he's seen before. So now he flies toward the fountain because it is time to put an end to this. Reaching the fountain, Taima jumps right in, swimming deep and deep beneath into the vortex, and he sees the machine that he needs to pull the force from. This is going to be a hazardous journey, but he needs to do it. And so it seems like the water isn't having too much of an effect on him, but the air, or the lack of air, definitely is. So he pushes harder and he gets to the actual machine, trying to blast it to try to destroy exactly what it is doing. And it explodes into a magnificent spire that is seen not only beyond the planet but also across the entire cosmos. This is by far the biggest explosion of ki that has ever been seen in this solar system. Power so great begins infusing its way into Taima's very being, and he is wrapped around it. It is engulfing him. This is transforming him. This is the potent life energy stored for millions of years from the planet itself, granting immortality and heightening abilities. This is what the Pharaoh has been after, what the Ancient One was after. Everybody wants this, and now Taima has it. And in a blinding light, it seems like everything is fine. Except for Taima, he has absolutely been transformed and he's covered in some mystic ki, and behind him it looks like the tree from Beerus' planet. Taima's master defeats the Pharaoh's evil army and saves the citizens of the city, able to see his son Champa and his son Beerus for the first time in a very, very long time. Both societies are finally united together. They are past the verge of war, and Brood is the hero, even getting a nod that he could probably use some further training beyond the levels that he has right now. And this seems to be an extremely happy ending for all involved. But where is the Pharaoh? Pharaoh flies into a dark and cavernous place. It goes into the cave, and as he looks beyond the light, he sees what looks like a brand new deity, whether this be one of the Ancient One's children or some new being that we have not seen. Well, we all know what exactly it looks like. It looks like Frieza fused with a snake. And this is the end of this chapter. Thank you guys so much for making it to this point of Dragon Ball Infinity. Take care, guys.
Subscribe for more content. Or perish.